Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be harvesting my garlic at last, hooray! And sowing or planting up my winter brassicas in the garlic bed, and also sorted out the sweet corn bed and lots of other jobs. So let's go and get started. Here is one lot of the garlic, and it's ready to come out because the bottom bit has gone all like papery. And here is the second lot that needs to come out, which is about as rusty as Ali's garden. And if you don't know who Ali is, then I'll put a link in the description below. Very good channel, you should check her out. And I've also got these bits of garlic here. So I'll get them pulled out and I'll show you what I've got then. Right, this is the harvest from this bed. It all looks good. I don't think I saw any allium leaf miner in any of these. Oh, there we are, there's one. If you're not sure what it looks like, it's like that. So a couple of them did have them. Yeah, there we are. But they should still be okay. I'll use them up first and I won't store the ones that have got the leaf miner. And then if I come back, that's my spoils bucket. Those will go into the black bin, as it were, rather than my compost bin because it's got all the rust on it. And then here's the harvest from these two beds. So I'm actually really pleased with the harvest on here. There's a decent size there. I mean, the others are decent sizes as well, but that's probably the biggest one. So there are some small ones, but there are some decent medium-sized ones as well. So I'm really pleased with them. Some of them had these like pregnant ones, you know, they sort of like had ones coming out up here, which is weird. I'm not quite sure why that is. I think it'll be okay though. It's just a bit alienish, you know, like baby coming out of belly. And on a more serious note, a couple of these had allium leaf miner as well. There we are, like this one. So I'll just need to be careful when I'll leave that to one side now so I know, and I'll go through them all when I put them to dry. Then the rest of the harvest is over here. I've got them into two piles because I remember that when I planted these, my neighbour gave me these ones, and they were organic garlic from a supermarket. And I know the supermarket was Waitrose because I saw the label. And these have got the allium leaf miner as well. So next year, or you know, the end of this year, when I plant them in the winter, I will need to cover them. And then if they still get it, I know that they are in the soil, and I'll have to grow garlic in pots from them on. But the quality on these ones, which are from the supermarket, are not as good because they're not damp there, but they're not as strong as the other ones. Not quite sure why. And a few of them were sort of like that as well, you know. They sort of the outer covering had come off, as it were. This is a better example. So they were a bit more exposed. So I wonder if that's because they were sprayed. Well, if they were organic though, they shouldn't have been, should they? But maybe they would have been given something to reduce their growth rate, or oh, I don't know. Anyway, that is what we had from the supermarket garlic, as it were. And then this was, I can't remember the variety, but it was a different kind of garlic to the other one. And this is not as big, hasn't grown as big as the other one either. But still a decent size. So this has just got all wet with the with the soaker hose there, which isn't ideal really. So I'm going to put that garlic to dry in my front greenhouse. I'm going to plant up the marigolds in the tomato bed, and then I'll show you the overwintering brassicas that I've got to plant in the empty bed behind me. Here's the garlic drying in the front greenhouse. Absolutely reeks of garlic in here. I'll just put them through the slats. I do the same with the onions during the summer if it's not too warm in here. I would have put them on a drying rack outside somewhere, but we meant to have rain today. We did have rain overnight, but hopefully we'll have some more rain today because it wasn't enough. The marigolds are now in. Hopefully they'll help these tomatoes to grow. They'll hopefully ward off any nasties that might come to eat my tomatoes. And here are some of my brassicas that are going in. These are purple sprouting broccoli, these ones. I'll probably pot them on because the broad beans are in the place at the moment. Then these sprouts will go in, and I've got kales that will go in today as well. So let's get on and do that. I was just going to show you it all finished when I planted up, but when I was doing it, I wanted to show you sort of the difference between where my irrigation system has run, because in this line here I've got perfect holes. I used a bulb planter, so I've got perfect holes there, and then where my soaker hose, my soaker hose isn't running right. I'm gonna have to rerun it. I need to put extra length on it and make it tighter around here. But where the soaker hose isn't, that is dry as anything, which I think was okay for my garlic, because my garlic had been in all winter and it had put its roots down, so to speak. But I need to thoroughly wet this before, after I've planted. Hopefully we'll have some rain soon. So I just thought it was worth showing you that. So this job has become more involved, as most jobs do. So I need to put some fertilizer and lime into this bed, and I'll just sprinkle it into the planting pockets and run that soaker hose in a bit better. So I'll show you when I'm done. Well, that's the kale and the sprouts in now. I've just put in this temporary tunnels for the time being while I wait for the coriander to seed and for me to collect the seeds, because I can't put the net in over the top where that bar is, because the coriander's in the way, and I don't really want to lose the coriander. So hopefully for the time being this netting will suffice to keep the cabbage whites off, which I actually haven't seen any around. And look at all this that I used to put in like 16 brassica plants. All these around here. What a mess. Well, it's not really a mess, but I'll just put away the tools. It's just funny, there's like 16 plants gone in and I've used all these things to do it. Good morning, back again. We had some rain last night, which is great. Everything has just shot on overnight really, including the weeds, which I was hoping to get to before the rain, but never mind, we'll get that done now, and then hopefully these cabbages and spring onions and swedes, these swedes are looking the best I've ever grown. Honestly, they are, I've never seen them grow like this before. It's quite a revelation. There's some radishes interplanted with them, but I'll take all the radishes out today because it'll save me having to get in there to harvest another time. And my sweet corn bed, we're going to get that sorted as well. So I'll crack on into the weeding and I'll show you at the end what I've got. So here's this bed all weeded, so we can see now the actual produce, which is looking reasonably good. Well, it's looking good as far as I can tell. I seem to have weeded a cat while I was at it. Typically, as soon as there's a space that she's not been on for a while, she's there. The swedes looking a lot less sort of voluminous now because I've taken out the radishes, which are there. I'll get them cleaned up and cut off the tops so we can see what we've actually got. And then this bed, I've got the spares in my greenhouse, so I'm going to move this one and those 3 dwarf beans to the back there, so there will be 8 sweet corn and 6 beans there, and then half this bed to put something else in. So here is the bed with everything moved. Got this free area now. Not quite sure what I'm putting there yet. The back beans, they look a bit sorry for themselves, but they've had a thorough water, and so have these front ones that I've moved. And hopefully we'll get a bit of sweet corn off there. I've also harvested some red currants, but I'll show you them later on. And now I've got a bit of a sad job to do, because I really need to drastically prune this apple tree, because I'm pretty sure it's got fire blight. That looks like fire blight to me, and what that will do is it'll get into the trunk and eventually it will kill the tree. So I'm going to need to cut out or remove a lot of the brown and damaged leaves. So for instance, with this one here, I will probably cut that off right up to there, where that, I don't know if you can see, but there's like a bud there that will hopefully grow. And similarly with this one, I'll cut it off to there, and then hopefully that one there will grow. But this tree, it's a duo tree, so it's got 2 varieties of apple on the one. You can see there where the graft is, and this grafted one, well, it's looking really sorry for itself. So I think the fire blight has well and truly got this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the whole the whole trunk off, probably down to this one here, and then hope that this one or maybe this one actually, because that's kind of the direction. Let me move you around a bit so you can see. So you can see there, that's growing up that way. So that's kind of the way I would want the new shoot, as it were, to grow. So I think I'll give that a cut there, which is quite drastic, but I think I'm going to lose this tree anyway. It looks to me like the infection has well and truly travelled through the whole of it. Got some of the leaves here beginning to go brown, so I think I might as well prune it and see if there's a chance of rescuing that side of the tree. Right, I'll set you up on a tripod so you could see the devastation. I've also got my loppers here, which I've sterilised with Jay's fluid, and I've got my secateurs, which I've sterilised with Jay's fluid, and I will sterilise each between each cut essentially, so I'm not introducing the infection to areas that might not have it already. So big deep breath. If you can, cut at an angle so that if it rains, the rain will oh dear, right. Whew. Yeah, so the rain will pour off it. If you cut it flat, then the rain could rest on top of the bit you've just cut, and it might, you know, prove a problem. Right, so this one is coming off now. See if you can see that. There we are. So where I'm looking there, I cannot see any sign of it within the branch. So hopefully I might have caught it in time. Right, remember now, I need to sterilise. I won't film all of it, honestly. I just thought I'd show you what I was doing. So if you needed to do something similar, then you can also take a deep breath and get it done. And give that the benefit of the doubt and leave that to see if we get anything, I suppose. Righto, I'll bring you back when I'm done. Okay, so this is what we've ended up with. This side will hopefully start to grow fresh, and this side I've cut off what looked like the worst. I have left some in, in the hopes that the tree will keep going. Really, I did pick off the worst of the fire blighted leaves, but some of them still have brown on them, like this one here. Actually, we'll get that one off. But I can't strip all of them off, because then the tree will have no leaves and therefore no photosynthesis and will die anyway. So hopefully that might have prevented the spread of the fire blight, but you never know. You never know. It's this tree is right next to this rose here, and for those who don't know, apples and roses are from the same family. They're from the Rosaceae family, and you know the fire blight might spread to them, but this just looks like black spot to me. It doesn't look like fire blight. Not that black spot is great, because it doesn't look great on the foliage, but the roses still seem to be producing okay. So hopefully I will have prevented the spread of the fire blight. I'll let you know how it gets on throughout the season. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'll be cleaning up all these leaves and all these branches. They'll be going into the black bin compost, which not the black bin compost, just the black bin that the council take away. I hope I've done the right thing now. That's the trouble when there's no one sort of near you to consult with. You just have to go on your own initiative, don't you? So hopefully that will save the tree, but we'll just have to wait and see when we... Let's go and have a look at my pots of potatoes because I need to unearth some more potatoes, and let's see how they're doing in the pots. Always at this time of year I'm finding as many jobs to do in the shade as I can, and this is one of them. So these are my swifts. So there's this is one seed potato in this 10-litre pot. And actually the swift potatoes were not looking too bad. Oh, hang on, I just need to go and get a cup to put a pot to put them in. Ah, yeah, found a pot. As I was saying, the potatoes that look the worst are the Charlottes. The others don't look too bad actually. And we'll see what we got from these swift ones anyway. And then I'll see how bad those Charlottes are, whether they need anything. But I could just actually leave them in the pots for a while, couldn't I? That should be fine if I just left them in those pots. Right, I think that's the lot. So that's what I got from the 10-litre pot. I think that's quite a good return actually. That's, so you take one out for the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, well 11 really. Yeah, that for me that's good, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'll do this other pot now, this 30-litre pot. Here's the 30-litre pot. I just know if I tipped it into the tray I was using, then it would be just too much compost and it would go everywhere. So what I'll do is I'll have a little fertile around, as it were, in here first, and then tip the compost off out at the end. But yes, now I'm thinking about it, I think that I could have left these in a bit longer, because the green on these ones are quite good actually. There was a few that had died back, but yeah, I should have left them longer. So I think I'm just going to leave them, the other potatoes, for the time being. I'll just leave them, and if the foliage all dies back, then I can just take the potatoes out as and when we need them. Yeah, I should have left these in a bit longer. Never mind. They are swift, so they should really be, you know, any day from 60 days really. Okay, I'll empty this out, and I'll bring you back when I'm done and show you what I've got. This is what I've got so far. I don't think there's going to be much more in there, but not bad at all. I did unearth a few more out of the pot, so that's what we got from the 30-litre pot with 4 seed potatoes, and that's what we got from the 10-litre pot with 1 seed potato. So possibly the 10-litre pot did slightly better than the 30-litre pot, but either way there's enough potatoes there for this week for our family, so that's all you really need, isn't it? And these were the red currants I picked earlier, and those were the radishes that I took out of the swede bed. I now have this 30-litre pot, and there's the compost from it. What I'll do is I'll just add a small sprinkling of bloodfish and bone, and I'll get some carrots planted in there or sown in there this afternoon. And then that 10-litre pot, I've no idea what I'm doing with yet. The netting on these sprouts is less than ideal, so what I need to do is make a timber frame to go around here, and then make a hooped cloche that I can hinge onto the sides here, and then that those sprouts should be able to have a bit more of their freedom rather than be really tightly herded in by this netting. So I'll get on with that, and I'll show you what I've got when I'm done. And here's the frame all completed. I've just left it up to show you, and I'll close it in a minute. So I have taken away all the brown leaves from the bottom of the sprouts, and I shall be harvesting the leaves from these sprouts like I would kale, which will then hopefully leave us with the cabbage tops. Some of them have got quite nice cabbage tops, others have not. Like this one is a little bit poorly compared to the others, but I've now given this bed a nettle feed whilst I was tidying it up, and we can now close this, and I expect I will need to go the other side to make sure that all the leaves are in, so to speak. But that is what it's looking like, so I'm really pleased with it. I need to do another 2 of these in case I ever plant sprouts, purple sprouted broccoli and kale in these beds, and then I'll have the height, and the rest of the cloches I'll make will be lower tunnels, lower ones. For anyone who's been following me for a while, when I've been saying I've been putting this wood on here, I think that this shows why I've been putting this wood on, because if it was just on this plank here, then I don't think it would be thick enough to hold the frame on. So if anybody was ever wondering what on earth I was wittering on about, that was what I was wittering on about. But just come down to the other side. Yes, that's what I wanted to show you. The camera will. So sometimes when I close it, well, not sometimes, but quite a bit of the time when I close it, they get stuck. And obviously if a cabbage white comes along, it's going to lay its eggs on there. So when I've got 2 hands now, I'll just lift it back up and ease those leaves underneath. But yeah, really pleased to get that done. I've just got another few to build now, but that's not going to happen today. Well, that's it from me for today. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next one. I'm really pleased with the jobs I've got done, and there's still plenty more that need doing though. So please join me next time, where I'll be doing some more bits around the garden. Okay, all I can say about my work today is lovely job, and take care everybody.